Hello, dear friends. Facts do not cease to exist because they are ignored. Aldous Huxley. Opinion piece. Who controls the world? Rabbit holes. Follow the money trail. The shadow government. Men behind the curtains. Who is the most important player? A lot of control concentrated in a few hands. Dark corners of wealth powers. Concentration of economic power in a few companies. Let's start. Who really controls the world? The Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Bilderberg Group, or are they all distractions to divert your curious eyes from the true world elite? The world is controlled by God, but who intends to supplant him? That is the question. The answer is not so simple. There is no doubt that there are secret world powers whose sole purpose is to maintain and increase their power. But it may not be as secret as you might think. He who controls the food supply controls the people. He who controls energy can control continents. But he who controls money can control the world. Science fiction. Milton William Cooper believes that the shadow government cooperates with 13 outside races. He believes that some regressive star visitors control the human species through various secret societies, religions, magic rituals, witchcraft, and occultism. In quotes. That these hidden forces would manipulate humankind for their own purposes, and that they would be behind events important historical events and wealth conspiracies. In chapter 23 of Mandalorian, titled The Spies, it is talked about the Shadow Council, also known as the Brotherhood Council. It was a secret cabal that formed the true shadow government whose goal was to rule the fragmented galactic empire. This council appears to be a secret cabal seeking to exert influence and control over the fragmented galactic empire after the events of the fall of the empire in the Star Wars storyline. It was a group formed after the rise of the New Republic by high-ranking officials of the empire with the aim of subjecting the galaxy to their policies, but they were ultimately defeated. Years later, the Shadow Council was reborn to revive the Empire through The Mandalorian. One of the topics in plural was the mysterious Necromancer project, related to the Empire's attempts to make non-force sensitive beings sentient. The series takes place in the same fictional universe as Star Wars and takes place after the events of Return of the Jedi, but before The Force Awakens. The plot follows the adventures of a lone hunter known as the Mandalorian, who is a member of an enigmatic culture and is tasked with capturing a mysterious child of the same species as Yoda, named Grogu. In the movie The Dark Secrets of the Hellfire Council, it talks about a secret society made up of the richest businessmen who snatched two of the lost pieces of the emerald tablet of Hermes Trismegistus. Deep State. A deep state, also known as the sewer of the state, refers to a form of clandestine government operated through hidden networks of power groups, which act in collusion in order to pursue a common agenda and their own objectives independently and in parallel to the supposedly elected government committing acts of corruption. The shadow government, also known as cryptocracy, invisible government, or secret government, is a series of theories that suggest that the true political power would not be in the political representatives elected by the population, but in people with great influence and authority within certain government entities that exercise power behind the scenes. According to this hypothesis, the elected government official would actually be a subordinate of the shadow government, which would actually be the true executive branch. There are various theories that suggest that within the shadow government there is a wide variety of cliques of groups that would be in conflict with each other, and that each of them would look after their own interests. Although this is not always the case, since if a group pursues an objective that is of common interest to another group, they would join their efforts to achieve the proposed goal, but on certain occasions there would also be conflicts of interest between them. Policy. The three main categories are political, financial, and media. This is harder than you think, because they work together by design. In monetary matters, the police rule is follow the money. In general, the world is made up of a diversity of nations, international organizations, governments, financial institutions, multinational companies, and other actors involved in decision making. Some of the most influential actors and institutions of the world stage include nation states, large multinational corporations, and international organizations. The political elite that has made every major geopolitical decision of the last 7 decades passed through one of the following organizations: the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group, the World Bank, and the International Monetary Fund. The Trilateral Commission was founded in 1973 to create a group of world rulers who would work together to establish a global cooperation and solve the world's problems supposedly. And although it excludes from membership anyone who holds public office, it serves as a revolving door of the wealthy from the financial, political, and academic elite. However, central banks and governments continue to control the free market and income. Finance. The concentration of economic power is very high in a small group of companies, which has implications in terms of economic and political influence. According to systems theorist James Gladfelder, less than 1% of companies control 40% of the entire network. Most of them are financial institutions, and the main ones would be Barclays Bank, JP Morgan Chase, and Goldman Sachs Group. From a huge database of 37 million companies, Gladfelder extracted the 43,060 transnational companies and built a model that demonstrates how connected these companies are to each other. Only 1,318 transnational companies constitute the core of the economy. This represents an enormous concentration of control in a few hands. These ownership networks can reveal who the main actors are, how they are organized, and how these powers are connected. Each of the 1,318 companies had links to two or more companies, and on average, they were connected to 20 companies. What's more, although they account for 20% of global business income, they were found to own the majority of the world's top manufacturing companies, accounting for another 60% of global income. When the ownership network was further unraveled, it resulted in a superentity of 147 even more densely controlled companies, all owned by other members of the superentity that controls 40% of the network's total wealth. According to this data, Gladfelder discovered that the 730 largest shareholders control up to 80% of the total income of transnational companies. They are mostly financial institutions from the US and the UK. This is a huge amount of control concentrated in a small number of hands, the aristocracy of the Anglo-Saxon Empire. Instead of being too big to fail, they are too connected to fail. Gladfelder says a high degree of interconnection could be bad for stability, because stress could spread through the system like an epidemic. It is one thing to have suspicions that someone is working behind the scenes to control the global money supply, and another thing to have scientific evidence that clearly demonstrates it. But these people can only exist within a political system that supports their goals. Rabbit holes. You go down one rabbit hole after another, looking for the man behind the curtain. You have been seeing enough to convince yourself that everything you've been taught about the world is false. And now it's just a matter of finding out who is responsible for creating such a mess, says Caitlin Johnstone. You seek the truth behind the problematic situation. You delve into an unknown or secret world to discover the truth behind what is considered false or misleading. The curtain would be a veil of concealment that would hide the truth, and you look for the man behind the curtain who would be responsible for maintaining that deception. It is the same as discovering the truth behind the curtain or unmasking the person behind the facade. You seek revelation, discovery, and a fight for truth and justice. They are mystery stories, even where people seek to blame those they consider responsible for problematic situations. For a time, your search seems fruitful, and you discover that you are not living as you were taught. You discover that your country is part of a power structure that spans the entire world and functions as the most powerful empire that has ever existed. And you discover that this empire has drivers who are not beholden to the electorate, and they are not to promote the interests of the people, but to promote an agenda of planetary dominance. And then you realize there is no man behind the curtain, and there never was. You tore off cutting after cutting, hoping to find a man, and all you found was a man-shaped hole in the universe. And you are not even angry. In fact, you find it very funny. You laugh at the silliness of it all. You laugh at how seriously we are all taking this game of separation and enmity, and how seriously you have been taking its moments before. You laugh at how innocent we all are in this. You laugh at your tenderness. You laugh at this game of shapes, and the universe laughs. A laughing Buddha laughing at a universe made of laughing Buddhas. As you see, as you wipe the tears from your face, that everything is developing as it should. The universe is becoming increasingly capable of perceiving itself, and there is no reason to suppose that this continuing explosion of perception will stop. In the end, we will resolve things. Consciousness continues to expand. The light continues to get brighter. The truth can only be hidden for so long. Message. Message from Nikola Tesla to Elena Velázquez. After leaving Earth, I was blessed with a new body, which allows me to continue with my favorite work of creating new technologies. During my human life, I discovered many things and I wanted to put them into practice. My attempts were suppressed by the evil energy of the cosmos and other resources available to help human beings advance as a civilization. Their goal is to continue suppressing the population. That is why I have been working closely with the forces of light to help prevent many attempts to harm the planet. Furthermore, I am willing to share more technologies with humankind on the new Earth. Now is the time for all of you to stop being enslaved by the Matrix and embrace the divine energies of the cosmos. Start pouring love and light to each other to lead others out of the darkness. You have no idea how much support and help you have been receiving from galactic beings of light. Your planet, our planet, would not exist without divine intervention. Many of you have not been happy that this ascension process has taken forever. Do you really understand the magnitude of the changes required to move into a new multidimensional reality? The change will occur when you are ready to accept it. Observe nature and how it vibrates gently and harmoniously every day. We are all creators, so start your day being in high frequency to connect with divine energy through meditation. It's time to become active and stop being prisoners of the holographic simulation. I recently participated in many operations related to Earth, such as many attempts to destroy the planet, obstructions to enslave the human race on other planets, etc. Your false savers of humanity are trying to explore the cosmos for their own benefit and use everyone to create wealth for themselves. The holographic simulation must be completely dissolved. Especially, it is necessary that the tool of the old monetary system used to create misery and suffering disappear. It's time to start thinking in a new way, without attachment to old habits, and to open yourself to receive and give back to others without expectations. Everything we send to the cosmos, we receive back. Be aware of your thought process if you wish to bring harmony and peace into your life. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.